Oh, geez, man, I don't know if we can do these accents this whole time.
Shut up, Morty. I told you, we're not doing these stupid accents. It's just like stupid fans who think that they know how to do an accent when they don't know how to do shit.
Oh god, Rick and Morty's accent is going to become the new Stewie and Peter. Hey, Lois, look, they're doing accents.
Shut up, fat man.
I went through like a weird Frandesha, which is weird.
What's Frandesha?
Yeah, it's weird because we're doing Rick and Morty season 1 to 4, a series review.
In a sense.
I'm really afraid that we don't have the IQ for this review.
I'm Minty.
I'm Annie, and this is FunUntitled, where we serve every podcast with an FU.
Now, to be honest, there's a million videos about Rick and Morty. They're doing like cool analysis of like nihilism. They're talking about references, Easter eggs that you catch. We're just gonna ramble because the new season's coming up and we're getting on that hype, I guess.
And you want that refresher, you know, like, oh, geez, although that's implying that if you watch Rick and Morty, you don't have photographic memory. And you don't know God, if you ever saw that Rick and Morty copy pasta, you know what I'm talking about with the whole, Rick and Morty fans has a certain level of IQ to show tantrums about Szechuan Sauce.
I have no idea.
No, just the Rick and Morty fan base is crazy, and you know we're not part of it.
Yeah, not really. I mean, because season 1 and 2 played, we didn't watch it. We may have seen a couple of episodes, and I wasn't really impressed. But we saw it, and I think season 3 was about to come out, so we saw season 3, which is the best season.
Yep.
Screw anyone who says otherwise. Almost every episode in season 3 is perfect.
Yep.
Almost. But we'll just go down each season, talk about our favorite moments, diss each other on what we think was the best episode of that season. Whatever.
I believe we started watching Rick and Morty because I was kind of interested because I saw the episode about the Pluto not being a planet, or Pluto is a planet, whatever your take on that.
That episode sucks.
It sucks, but I thought it was interesting. And then you saw Community and was like, oh, Dan Harmon made the only good seasons of Community, and then he moved on to Rick and Morty. I might as well watch.
I actually don't really like the Community that much.
Why do we watch Rick and Morty? Who knows?
I have no idea. Dan Harmon made another show that I don't really like either. I can't remember what it is right now.
It's weird because in season 1 of Rick and Morty, that's when you get to like meet the characters, and you already got John Oliver in one of them.
That's what I'm surprised about too. So season 1, that's Anatomy Park. I actually really like that episode.
Yeah, no, it's a good episode.
Anatomy Park is good. The Meeksy episode is great. I hate interdimensional cable.
That's one of the staples, man. Everyone loves that.
I know, but I hate it. Because that's literally it, right? Justin Roiland rambling.
Yeah.
And then they just animate to it. Like, I just hate it. But I think of all of these, Anatomy Park is my favorite one.
It's funny because, as we know, Rick and Morty, as it goes on, there's like a weird underlying plot between the relationship between Rick and Morty, Rick and his family, yada yada. So I just appreciate how simple season 1 was.
Although Morty was dragged through the dirt in these first 2 seasons. But I do love the character growth that Morty has.
I don't know why. When watching season 1, I really liked the episode. Never mind, I don't think that's part of season 1. Was season 1 the one where someone needed Jerry's penis as an organ transplant?
That's season 2 because that's the second interdimensional cable episode.
Oh.
I saw the devil episode before we were like fully watching it. I hate that episode. I rewatched it. I still hate that episode. That episode has no conclusion.
Yeah, basically. Well, yeah, so...
Oh, that is the Pluto one. No wonder I hate it.
Yeah. That's what Rick was doing in the B plot.
Oh, okay, so season 1 was whatever.
Oh, they introduced the Citadel of Rick, which I thought was an okay idea.
I actually love the Citadel of Rick's idea.
I hope they develop it more because I have no idea how this giant discrepancy between the Wicks and the Citadel happens, because in the Wick Citadel you have the really smart people and the really dumb Wicks.
I think for the point that you're trying to make, I think it's just like an idea of how people end up naturally separating themselves.
Oh.
You know, like, think about it. This is the second thing, and what I love about the Citadel of Ricks. They're all Rick.
Yeah.
So they're all really just him. It's an aspect of his personality that they're exploring it through this way, but you don't really get to see in the show, and it like really kind of develops Rick in an unusual but unique way.
Oh, I never thought about it like that.
Right? Because in a sense, it's like Rick hates this, but also Rick is a very self-loathing character, so this is only par for the course for him.
Ah, jeez, you got me there, sir.
Right, and then there's like a weird Rick and Morty relationship, and when we get to season 3, talk a little bit more about the Citadel of Ricks.
It's really dumb in the Rick and Morty fandom. There's a strong theory that Morty is basically the same person as Rick, and the Citadel of Rick is just making a continuous cycle of Mortys becoming Ricks and then training the next Mortys.
I mean, maybe.
I think one of the strong evidence was that in one episode, this is later on in the season, but it's kind of related. There's a school of Mortys, and there's a dumb Rick part of the school of Mortys.
Right.
So implying that, that dumb Rick is basically just a Morty. And then there was a Japanese anime short of Rick and Morty. I never made you watch it. I don't know if you know anything about it.
Nope.
But there's basically a scene where it implies Rick dies, and before he dies, he gives a vial to Morty and says, oh, drink this when the time comes. And then later on in the future, it implies that Morty has become Rick, and he drinks the potion.
Is this some weird thing of how evil people always take over a younger person, and that's how they go through immortality?
Oh, get your Naruto beliefs out of here.
There was another show that did that. I can't remember what anime we were talking about. But it's true. It happens a lot. What's his name? Voldemort.
Oh gosh.
Didn't he want to take Harry Potter's body?
No.
You sure?
Pretty sure. We don't know Harry Potter. Okay.
The whole crux.
You don't want to get into the Horcrux because I think he was... Oh, forget it. I'm not going to explain it.
I've seen the film theory. Harry Potter is more Voldemort than Voldemort himself. I actually do like the idea of Horcrux. But anyways, back to Rick and Morty.
Overall, season 1 was probably one of my faves. It's top.
I always found it a little cringy.
Oh. I mean, it has a Meeksy episode and introduces its characters and established them.
Fair enough, but this is when all the relationships are the most unstable.
Yeah, it's true.
Season 2, the reason why I really gave Rick and Morty a chance is because I do love the first episode of season 2. When they broke time and then they had to wear the time chokers.
Oh.
And I just thought, man, this is a really good idea.
Oh, the animation budget for that episode must have been insane.
It's season 2 I feel really brings in
the family?
Not the family.
Oh.
I don't know if they ever bring the family together. Maybe in season 4 more?
Yeah, maybe.
But
season 3 with the whole therapy.
Well, without Jerry though in season 3.
Yeah.
But season 2, I think really is bringing in the alien and the technology to its fullest potential. More than season 1. It's hard to explain why I think that way.
Yeah. See, okay, what's the iconic episode of season 2? You have Get Swifty, but I disagree. The only good thing about that is the stupid song.
I didn't care for Get Swifty either.
Get Swifty. Get in the ground and shit on the floor.
If there's any episode I really like besides the first one, I don't really care for season 2 either. Like I said, the season 1 and 2 to me are just...
Hey, there's 4 seasons. One of these 2 has to make it to the top with season 3.
Okay, if I have to rank them, I would go season 3 to maybe 1 then 4.
Interesting.
Because I think season 1 and 2, every episode is averagely good, but season 4 has a few good ones and some really bad ones that the really bad ones, it brings 4 scores so low that it's the worst one. But they're not all bad.
Yeah.
While season 3 is I'm just hoping season 5 is as good.
Something kind of bullshit about Rick and Morty is that you kind of have to know all the medias to make theories about Rick and Morty, because in, I think season 1 they introduced Evil Morty.
Yes.
So then I know there's some comic stuff where you have to read it to understand Evil Morty more and all the different universes. So that's the only reason why I feel the later seasons after season 3 it's just gonna get more messy. Season 1 and 2 was really simple, then I think 4 and 5 is going to start getting messy.
I am kind of hoping for that mess though, because Evil Morty is the most interesting subplot to this Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't many besides Clone Bear,
yeah,
who's the real one, but that one's kind of resolved.
Kind of.
Yeah, so the Evil Morty, I really hope they bring that back in season 5.
What season did Rick try to kill himself after breaking out with his Horde planet girlfriend?
So that's season 2.
Yeah, season 2, I think that's when they put hints and sees that Rick isn't just,
an asshole.
Yeah, isn't just this guy with a god complex.
Yeah.
With the whole Birdman thing saying oh, do you know what wubba-dub-dub-dub means? It means I am in great pain in my language.
That was a season 1 moment, so it doesn't hit as hard until you watch these other seasons oh, okay. okay.
I do hate all the analysis videos I had to watch that had to re-explain what nihilism meant.
See, I always wondered, does Rick and Morty truly do represent nihilism? Because I understand the part where, like, because there's multiple universes, he doesn't give a shit what happens, he's just gonna move on.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the whole argument for nihilism. And yet, there's still that thing that Rick will do almost anything to save his family or, like, even the Earth he's on. And he gives this excuse like, oh, it's just a pain in the ass to move. But I'm like, you've done that already.
I don't know, Rick is a very complicated character because there's a lot of theories that, like, these aren't his original family, that Evil Morty's his original Morty.
Oh.
Yeah, this is all old theories. But, so, it kind of implies that, you know, Rick goes out of his way, but at the end of the day, he will abandon them if he's Cronenberg's the entire world.
I didn't care for that episode either.
No, I didn't care about it either.
Hey, let's spend a huge chunk of this podcast.
Huge chunk. Like, we're only 15 minutes in. We can put a lot of time into this part.
We'll try not to, though. Season 3 is so fantastic.
It introduced the most cursed thing in the entire world that everyone knows a Rick and Morty fan for.
And Pickle Rick, Morty.
I was thinking of the Szechuan Sauce.
Oh, I mean, that too, I guess.
I mean, that one, you know, had real life consequences.
Man, we were at New York at the time the Szechuan sauce came out, and we almost went to go find a McDonald's that had it, but we were like, you know what? We're not from New York, and we don't really know our way around, so that's not.
Quick drama, you know, in case you don't know what the drama with the Szechuan sauce was. Basically, in the episode, Rick was talking to Nathan Fillion about how they were in the past, so that was the only time he could get that sweet Mulan promotional sauce from McDonald's called Szechuan sauce, which is based off of real Asian sauce. It was so popular that all the fans were demanding it to come back. McDonald's was like, alright, for one day, we will bring it back as a promotion, but we won't say why. We'll just have space posters. And what you have to understand about McDonald's is that one person does not own all the McDonald's. Each McDonald's is a franchise. So different people own different McDonald's. So they are all not obligated to have the sauce.
Not only that, but I don't know if anyone understood the popularity of Rick and Morty and how crazy the fans were.
Yeah, so there was a lot of fans going to a lot of McDonald's where a lot of McDonald's either didn't have enough sauce or didn't have it flat out. And then people caused riots over the sauce to the point where I believe there's quite a number of McDonald's that had to call the police.
Yeah, crazy.
So that's why Rick and Morty will forever be synonymously associated with Szechuan sauce.
But none in Hawaii. No McDonald's in Hawaii had it. So I believe there's no riots.
Hawaii also doesn't have that many white people to get upset. You know, I'm just saying. But yeah, Pickle Rick was also another giant staple of season 3.
I mean, of the series at this point.
Yeah, do you know how many Funko Pop of Pickle Rick exists?
The best episodes, the Pickle Rick, the Vindicators, the Whirly Dirly, the Tales of the Citadel. I hate the interdimensional cable, but I love Morty's mind blowers. Because that's just about them.
Yeah, I get that. And then you have the whole Rick actually building his relationship with Beth with that episode, the ABCs of Beth.
That's a crazy episode.
It's crazy we had to wait this long to see how fucked up Beth is from Rick.
Yeah, that is true. This is really the only time they really hang out too.
Yeah.
Or the first time.
God, when this season came out, like every episode, like all the analysis, all the content creators, they were on it after every episode.
I think Vindicators has my favorite, like, Rick and Morty relationship. Whirly Dilly has my favorite scene of, like, Rick saying all the flaws with Jerry. But the Tales from the Citadel is the one that's just so, like, it's not just talking about the show, it's talking about society in a whole. Because it's crazy, right? These Ricks and Mortys that separate into, like, classisms and stuff. And it's like, yeah, because that's just how people are.
What's the worst episode of season 3?
The worst episode, I love all of them, but it's either between that post-apocalyptic one.
Oh, everyone loves that episode. The one where Morty gets the giant arm.
Look, I'm not saying it's a bad episode, I'm just saying it's my least favorite.
Okay.
That one, and I'm actually not that big a fan of ABC of Beth, the Foopy Land and stuff.
That was an important episode, but right?
It was important, but the B plot sucks. That's Jerry and his alien girlfriend. Yeah.
But I was so sick of the whole season finale. The one where Rick has to fight not Obama.
I like the fighting scenes.
It didn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. For sure.
The finale of them like, oh, Rick, you're toxic. We're gonna leave you because we're afraid that you might kill our mom, who might be a clone. We're gonna live in the woods. We're separated now. And in season 4, hey, dub, we forgot all about that. Ticky ticky tack.
I think the idea was like when the season ended. No, because Rick comes to them with a gun. And they're like, please don't kill our mom. And he's like, the gun's for Jerry. And they're like, Rick! Because I think at this point, this is Rick almost surrendering to the domestic family life.
Oh.
A little bit, not a lot. And he still wants to kill Jerry. That will always be there.
God, Jerry's such a bad character.
I actually like Jerry.
I don't know. Okay.
I just think he brings something very different to the family dynamic. And because he's an outsider, in a sense,
Yeah.
like, he has no reason to like Rick.
I guess for me, sometimes Rick and Morty does the family's drifting apart from Rick because he's toxic really bad. Sometimes they do it really well, but most times it's kind of like, okay, I get it. If he's so toxic, then, do something other than making me see this all the time.
He went through family therapy.
That was a good episode.
It was a dumb episode, but it was okay.
So,
But let's pick a Rick episode.
yeah. So that's just my only qualm about this season finale. It's just, like, I guess it gets the ball rolling that Rick is toxic, and that really plays a role in season 4.
It is the worst season finale.
Yes.
Let's not shit ourselves.
Fun fact, Dan Harmon says that The Vindicators is his least favorite Rick and Morty episode.
I think I heard that too, because it doesn't follow his way of writing stories.
Yeah.
Which, screw that. I love Vindicators. That was the one I kept rewatching when it came out.
I am a million ants. I hope that lady comes back.
That's another thing that, like a little cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Oh, God.
I think season 4 is the worst. What do you rank the seasons?
Season 3 is the best, then 1, then 2, then 4.
Oh, okay, so you agree that season 4 is the worst.
Yeah, it's so cringy because this was the season where they played half of it, then they waited a bit, then played the second half, and it didn't really feel cohesive at all.
I think season 5 is gonna do the same thing.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, the first half of season 4 is really bad. The second half of season 4 is okay.
And let's just go through the episodes real fast since this is the last season.
The one people probably most remember.
Yeah, the one that people most remember or the one that people will kind of need to know for season 5.
Oh, it's true.
So the first episode is the one where Rick dies and then Morty has a death crystal and Rick needs Morty to bring him back, but Morty's like, no, this crystal is leading me to an ending where I can die happy with Jessica.
I like that episode. That episode is funny.
I only like the fact that Rick kept coming back into Nazi world. I'm like, god damn!
I kind of like the ending where Morty thinks that he's gonna die with Jessica old, but it's just really him alone in hospice.
Yeah, and then Jessica's just like a volunteer or something.
That's so funny. Then we get to the second one with Jerry developing an app with an alien and Summer keeps finding her soulmate.
And then Rick is upset because someone's using his special toilet.
Okay, I don't like that episode. I feel like there's some kind of message about Rick sitting alone, at the end of the episode.
Okay, that's the thing about Rick and Morty. That was like such a fucking nail in the head. Like, I get it. Rick is alone. Rick doesn't have friends. He's literally sitting on his throne of shit while a bunch of clones of him congratulates him for being a piece of shit.
I'm like, there's gotta be a bigger message than that, right?
No, that's the problem with some of the lying messages of Rick and Morty, is that they think they're so cool and subtle, and then it's not. Like, I get it. Rick is a sad, tragic character who covers up the pain by being an asshole and nihilistic. Like, if you try to look for something deeper, it's not there.
Yeah, that one was just...
Like, season 3, I will argue Rick avoiding therapy by turning himself into a pickle. There's deeper things.
Yeah.
This sitting on the toilet is kind of the writers saying, did you get it yet? And the whole Jerry thing was just irritating.
Oh, yeah. Then there's the heist episode. That episode is basically all just leading up to one dumb joke, and it wasn't worth it. The build-up was not worth it. The joke wasn't worth it. Which is basically Rick saying, heist movies are dumb. I was like, really? We did a whole episode just for this shit, and nothing was even... Not even the side characters that were in it were cool.
You son of a bitch, I'm in. No, the message of this one was kind of Rick showing that even though he says a lot, oh, Morty, I don't need you, you need me. Rick did all this to get rid of Morty's Netflix deal.
Dumb.
It's dumb, yeah.
Then there's the D&D one, which is...
I don't even want to talk about it.
The worst episode of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
There's no jokes except the dick one. There's no conclusion. There's no looking into the characters.
There's not even that that great world building.
There's no world building, so it's just junk. And then the B plot was Jerry befriending a talking cat.
And we don't even get to, like, it was very vague, the cat. Like, oh, why does the cat talk? We're gonna figure this out. Like, no, don't. Like, oh god, that's horrible.
You know, there's that nice scene though of like when they find out what's horrible and Rick wipes Jerry's mind.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think he would do that for Jerry, but maybe he's really doing it for Beth.
If you think about it, that's another thing about Rick's psyche, because he thought it was so horrible he had to erase Jerry's mind, but he won't erase his own.
Oh, then there's the snake one?
No.
I thought it was okay.
That was like the last episode of the first half, I believe.
Yeah, so it was okay, but overall, it was just overly complicated and not worth watching.
And then the whole Jerry subplot, like, Jerry kind of became Randy in South Park, huh?
In a sense, it was this weird male pride thing and like trying to get back at Rick, but nothing worked.
Like, he was trying to hang out Christmas lights, right?
Yeah, but I'm like, you didn't get what you wanted, Rick didn't get what he wanted. Like, what was the point of you acting this way, and what was the point of this episode being written this way?
No one knows.
Then there's the fucking Infinity Train shit that was so boring.
Okay, the problem with the Infinity Train is that you had to know writing, and then it was just too meta and it wasn't funny. Cause, you know, the whole, like, that rule about the women, like, if this is a good movie for women, if the two women on screen who's not talking about men.
Oh, yeah.
I think they talk a little about the hero's journey, right?
Maybe? I don't know. That episode's so boring. I didn't like it.
And then Jesus came, I think.
Jesus did come.
Like, they made fun of VeggieTales, I think.
This episode's still not as bad as the D&D one.
Yeah, it still wasn't. Like, I'll tell you every reason why this episode was bad, but none of it could beat how boring and just... the D&D episode was reduced to sex jokes at one point.
Oh, the lowest bearing fruits of humor.
Okay, poop jokes or sex jokes, which is lower?
I always think sex jokes, because I think sex jokes, you're trying to appeal to a wider audience, but failing. Poop jokes, you're really doing it for one audience, and you probably won't hit what you're trying to do.
Okay.
Then there's the face-sucking alien one. I actually like that episode.
My problem with that episode is not bad in any least. The whole, not doing 9/11 was funny.
Oh, that was fun.
Not 9/11, Pearl Harbor?
They skipped 9/11 because
Okay.
that was bad taste, but shooting at Pearl Harbor was okay.
My only problem is that the creators at multiple occasions says, oh, hey, you know, there's multiple universes, so anything can happen. So every time someone asks, what about incest? They don't put a firm line. They just said anything could happen. And in this episode, you made Rick and Morty make out.
That to me is why this episode's so funny. But I also think that this was a story about like industrialization of the world, right?
Yeah.
Going from like simple people who have high fertility and high mortality rates to like, oh, once you make a civilization, you don't do that no more. Then there's the giant vat of acid episode.
Good episode.
That's an episode that like builds up to one joke and it's so funny.
Because the whole base of that episode is that Rick gets Rick and Morty out of a little scuffle by pretending to die in a vat of acid, and Morty's like, that's dumb. And Rick spends the whole episode just to burn Morty. He'd be like, oh, Morty, looks like you put yourself in a little kerfuffle. I wonder if going into this vat of acid is the only way out. Like, god damn it, Rick.
Morty did not respect Rick enough to do it completely right, but good enough.
He tried. He didn't look at the gun.
Then you go to the one that Rick fucks a planet and she's pregnant with his children. That episode is terrible. That is a terrible, terrible episode. Not as much as D&D, but terrible.
Yeah, there wasn't really a message in it other than Rick really likes fucking planets.
It was like a weird, like, oh, technology and drugs is bad kind of episode. And then it was like, then Rick wasn't the dad, and then the mom planet was like, Rick, I think you should go. And it's like, that makes no sense. And this is the whole beginning of this episode. You're basically saying the whole episode is void.
I don't know, something about Jerry and his side teaching all the dumb kids how to camp, and it was the whole rural versus urban.
It was just, like, what was the point of any of it? And just to have Rick and Beth be on the same side, but I was like, I don't fucking care.
I feel like this episode was just created to be a foil for the next season finale episode.
I think they needed a better episode, and they needed to have done it better, and they should have been Rick's kids.
Yeah.
It makes no sense that they're not in any way, and then they then she kills them all, basically. Like, most of them.
Yeah.
I was like, what was the point of that? It just makes the planet look like this crazy bitch, and it's like, but there's no, like, reason for her to be a crazy bitch.
Yeah.
Unless you're just saying some weird statement about post-mortal depression. And then in the last episode, where you finally come to a head that there are two Beths. Who's the clone? Nobody knows. On Tammy. Tammy's dead. And Phoenix person. Kinda dead? Brainwashed? Living in Rick's garage now?
Yeah, this is the episode. I think Tammy was following Beth to the planet.
Yeah, Tammy wants to arrest Space Beth.
Okay.
And she just ended up following her here.
And they just all decide, hey, let's just have two moms. So season 5 will be interesting.
Season 5, it'll probably just have Space Beth going back to space, and they don't talk about it.
God, Rick and Morty sometimes garbage with continuity. Like, see, the problem with Rick and Morty is that they hyped up Tammy and Bird Person a lot in the season 2 premiere? No.
Finale.
Season 2 finale, because, they're back, whatever. But it's kind of like, okay, you guys came back for one episode and then died just as quickly.
Yeah, and I wish Rick and Morty did more with the Galactic Federation. The people who are hunting down Rick. They just seem like, okay, they're a police force, but what do they do besides hunt Rick?
So as much as I love Rick and Morty and how much they have loose strings that seem interesting, I've yet to see a payoff that worked really well yet.
They're building it, man. It's for that evil Morty.
Yeah, because we gotta finish up the evil Beth now. We have the evil Morty.
The Cosmo Lady Vindicator.
Yeah, I had one more in my head, I just forgot it.
Yeah, interesting to see season 5. I think, scheduling wise, I think Rick and Morty's gonna come out in a couple weeks. I think it's like June 22nd? Something like that.
Until that, God, was that a single meme in season 4 that everyone quotes?
You would know better than me.
Yeah, I don't think so, which is sad.
Yeah, it should be, Little Rat Bones.
That's it, we're ending. I hate this. Bye.
Bye.